Some may think that Joe Girard started his life as a great salesman from birth. But the truth that we mentioned in the summary of how to sell anything to anybody is that he was able to teach himself how to build the spirit of a salesman inside him. And it was not an easy thing. But at first, he was just a poor child. Most of those around him make fun of him because he is Italian. Joe Girard's life was full of problems from a young age, and this affected him by realizing that it was useless. But from the womb of the violence that his father practiced on him, a feeling was generated inside him that he would be successful and that his father was wrong in his opinion. And he tried all kinds of work and even robbery incidents. And one day he did not have money to feed his children. So he felt then that he was a failure, as his father said. But after he was bankrupt, he entered the automotive world. So his life was painful serves as a key catalyst for his tremendous success. 1. Girard's Rule of 250. Joe Girard did not care about what his feelings were towards his clients. Work does not depend on feelings. He was very serious with those he worked with and did not care about any factor other than the factor of achievement and saving time. So he did not hesitate once to fire those who waste time, and that this cost him to pay for the departure of the client is not good. Girard believed in the rule of 250 because he had asked some people about the average number of people attending someone's funeral or even his wedding. The average person affects 250 people throughout his life. And if Joe Girard abuses one of his automotive customers, after time Girard's reputation will worsen in front of 250 other people. 2. Fill the swivel wheel seats. Girard says in the summary of the book How to Sell Anything to Anyone that a successful sale is nothing but planting and harvesting. Planting and harvesting is throughout the year just like selling. And it is also correct to compare the sale to the spinning wheel, as the seats represent the sale, and those sitting on them are the buyers, and they change and change every period. As soon as the cycle ends, it is time for passengers to disembark and whose turn has come to practice the purchase process. Girard says that everyone should be fully aware of what the salesman is selling. Although this advice is intertwined among many, some do not tell those around them what they are selling. Girard used to tell everyone around him that he sells cars from the clothes seller to the butcher and florist, even if they are simple people who can be the reason for bringing in another buyer. 3. Bringing in clients using brokers. Everyone needs help, even if he is of great stature. So the salesman must knock on all possible doors of help if his position is great. Asking for help does not underestimate the importance of one. But on the contrary, the salesman must seek to reach all his potential customers even if this costs him exorbitant amounts, because if they do not buy from him, they will know what he is selling, which makes him on the list of people who may need him later. Some brokers market for money but get paid after the sale has already passed. Unlike searching for customers using mail, one must pay for sending mail before the purchase is made. The use of brokers whose salary is deducted after the conclusion of the sale is much better, although it is more expensive. 4. Client interview. Most people see salesmen as very formal and bright white, and they also see that salesmen would like to earn a lot of money from them. But as it is mentioned in the summary of the book How to Sell Anything to Anyone, Girard, although he makes a lot of money, he wears casual clothes at his work time. And it may seem that he wears cheap clothes, but it is not. But he is very similar to those around him who work in factories and offices. Also, the salesman must be as friendly as possible to make his customers feel comfortable, by creating an appropriate atmosphere to talk calmly, as well as providing what the customer requests from juice or even their favorite cigarettes. As simple things while dealing with the customer make them feel comfortable. 5. Catching customers. Most often, the failure of salesmen is due to their jumping to the final results without thinking about what the customer wants. They do not care about the extent to which the customer needs the car, for example, or what the nature of the customer's life may change the type of car he will buy, and this pushes customers to leave. So the salesman must focus on what the customer wants and what aspects of his life are related to what he will buy. One of the useful tricks for the salesman is to deliver the product to the customer if the customer is leaving because he was not in agreement with the salesman. And this trick has the effect of magic, as it provides the customer's confidence in the salesman. And some may see that doing something like this is madness or a difficult risk, but after the customer receives the product, he feels that it has already become his property, and this pushes him to refrain from searching elsewhere. 6. Spending and earning. The salesman must know for sure that spending money and buying the elements of success is the basis of success, because any business is based on spending money and waiting for gains. But intelligence is in how to make gains multiply the money spent hundreds of times. And the work also spends time through the good establishment of plans that will walk according to the word map. And it must also be understood that the importance in sending mail is for those who care about it and read, and not according to what it will cost of money. Joe Girard says in the summary of the book How to Sell Anything to Anyone that he does not only give gifts to those who can come up with the same, but he gives gifts to all his customers, as this helps to reduce the distances between him and the customer, which makes him mention to the customer more. For example, if he sends a customer of his clients a card wishing for recovery when he goes to the hospital, this customer will tell everyone who visits him that Joe Girard, who sells cars, has sent him a card. Even if he does not, it costs a lot of effort and money, but in any case, it expands the range of those who know it. Finally, the summary of How to Sell Anything to Anybody by Joe Girard and Stanley Brown is a very entertaining book full of experiences that those who want to learn to sell should draw from.